Shape layers are a way of incorporating Illustrator inside of After Effects. Compound paths plus unique animation parameters give shape layers a special place in my heart. Puppet tools are nothing but cool, and I mean mega cool. This feature is so quick and easy to learn that very soon you will master it and you will be using it in your compositions. As we have been doing all along, we can draw a shape layer by using one of the vector tools and drawing on the viewable area without having any layer selected. If we have a layer selected, then we will draw a mask on that layer instead. So let's go ahead and create a flower. Create a new composition. Let's make a DV. This is all good. Let's just call it flower. 6 seconds is good. And click OK. Let's go ahead and grab the Start tool and start drawing. It is a triangle now, but if you use the up arrows while still holding down the mouse button, you'll start having more points. Still holding the mouse button down, press and hold the space bar, and now you can move the mask across, but you can also use the left arrows and the right arrows to change the roundness of the points. So with the right arrow, about yay is good. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Now press and hold the Control or Command key and make it a little bit larger. And as you can see, the outer radius of the flower, or of the shape, is not a flower yet, got a little bit larger, the outer radius, but the inner radius did not. Let's just make it a little bit more roundy there by pressing the right arrow. And that's pretty good, so I'm just going to go ahead and release the mouse button. Go ahead and click on the word Fill. And let's change the fill to a radial gradient. Click OK. Now click on the color swatch for the fill. And let's change the left color to a yellow and the right color to a white. And click OK. Switch to the Selection tool and you will see a Gradient Adjustment tool in here. Just bring it in so that only the middle of the flower is yellow and the petals are white. And that's it. That's a nice daisy. Let's go ahead and see what the properties of this shape layer are. So let's go to the timeline. Let's make this a little bit larger. And expand Contents Polystar 1. Let's go ahead to the transform of the Polystar 1 first. Notice we can change things like scale, skew, axis, etc., etc. Let's not confuse this with the transform properties of this layer. They are different. So we have the transform properties of the layer, which are anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. And then we have the transform properties of that polystar. Very similar, but they do not refer to the same thing. You can also change the gradient properties. You can even keyframe the different colors. Let's go ahead and expand the stroke. Same thing, you can change these things. More on that a little bit later. And of course, the polystar as well. You can keyframe how many points, the position, rotation, inner and outer radius, inner and outer roundness. Let's go ahead and talk about the stroke now. Let me go ahead and draw a new shape. And there you go, I have a new shape layer, and I'll move it a little bit away from the flower, and I'll move the flower. I'll go ahead and add a stroke. And I'll get rid of the fill by clicking here, and click OK. Maybe I'll make the stroke a little bit wider. There you go. You can change different properties of this stroke, not only color, opacity, and width, but you can also change line caps, line joins, etc., etc. The cool thing about this is that you can add dashes. In other words, if we click on this little plus sign here, we add either a dash or a gap, and we can even animate this. Very cool. All right, select that new shape layer that we created and let's go ahead and delete it. And let's go back to the flower. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. And there you go. And let's position it here on the left.